It's another Frenchman on row 13, Gabin Luyer. Gabin Luyer lines up with the lady from Netherlands, Wietske Vischer. Row 14, Matt Chapman from the United Kingdom and Mark Moore from Estonia. Row 15, Philip Hamprecht from Germany and another Dutch driver, Lorenzo van Riet. And the grid is completed on row 16 by Poland's Damian Wisniewski and from Switzerland, Clement Novalak. 32 drivers going to grid, 14 laps to be raced. Ladies and gentlemen, in just over 5 minutes' time, we shall race the Rotax Junior Final in the 2013 Rotax Winter Cup. The Rotax Winter Cup, of course, promoted by RGMMC, and the whole of the event televised live on RGMMC TV. Good luck, everyone. Good luck. Three minutes, the 3 minutes klaxon goes, the good luck messages, the grid is cleared. Well, 3 minutes to go. Those of you tuned in online, thank you for doing so. I'll renew the request that I had. Jack Bartholomew, who starts on row 2, wants to say hi to Sister Catherine and brother-in-law John in the UK, and particularly Sister Emma and the family in Hong Kong. I hope you tuned in. Jack starting this one on row 2. And also everybody at Lewis Priory School. Jack Bartholomew is cart number 40. He's on row 2. Jack McCarthy, first time racing in Junior Max, is on row 7. Darren Keane is from Parkland, Florida in the United States. He's on row 7 with Jack McCarthy. Big thank you to Mike and the DHR team from Max. Sorry, I'm reading that for the second time wrongly. Second time I've done that incorrectly. Shout for the sponsors for Guan Yu Zhou, Guan Yu Automobile, Guan Yu Holding and the Hangji Group. Thomas Preining, engine tuned by JVD Power. Connor Hall starts on the front row. Are you proud of that, Kath? Are you proud of that, Craig? Mum and Dad back home, Sister Chloe, Brother Lewis back home in England. Your boys on the front row of a final in international karting. Witskevisje from Dronten in the Netherlands. First time out at this level. Yuri Vips from Estonia. The 2012 Baltic Cup winner, the 2011 Estonian champion. 12 years of age, making his RGMMC debut. Rinus van Kalmtoo, a big thank you to all the people who support me. Elena Shahan from Den Haag in Holland. Big thank you to Team TKP. First time competing at this level, very inexperienced. Also had a training interrupted for illness. Matthew Chapman from Abingdon in Great Britain. Only 1 year in karting. Best result before, second in the Brazilian Cup at Shennington. Well, big thank you to all of you that have sent in your driver bios. That's helped me, and I hope your friends back home appreciated getting the shout. We're very, very close now to our first final. Guys, girls, have a great race. Here we go. Here we go. The junior final. We roll forward to our the first of our 2 formation laps. To those of you here at Campios, you've made a great decision on this lovely winter Sunday afternoon. Very, very pleasant here at Campios. Those of you that can't be with us but are tuned in online, you've also made a very sensible decision. Just got a feeling we've got 3 great races coming up. An issue there for kart number 45. Kart 45 is the American driver, I think, Darren Keane. Not quite sure how Darren Keane came to be coming over the grass, but hopefully he'll take his place in the race on row 7. Looks as if he's running okay. Darren Keane from Parkland, Florida. So, are your excitement levels building? In the later stages of the second of the 2 formation laps, Josh Price is on pole position and Connor Hall has joined him on the front row. Lars Lamborel and Jack Bartholomew, row 2. Guan Yu Zhou and Senna Sakaguchi, the all-Asian, row 3. Thomas Preining and Berkay Besler, row 4. Top 10 completed by Ralph Aron and Yuri Vips on row 5. A 14-lap race for the junior final for the Rotax Winter Cup 2013 here at Campios. Well, it's certainly a nice steady start, so well done to Josh Price and Connor Hall, bringing the field in nice and steadily. And we have aborted the start. We are not racing. The start is aborted. The start is aborted. I rather suspect the acceleration was too early. And I'm getting the thumbs up that that anticipation was correct. Thomas Liner, who makes these starts here, felt that the acceleration to race pace came too quickly. So we go round on another formation lap. Well, if you're a neutral bystander, it's just another race with an aborted start. If you're one of those taking part, or if you're committed to one of those drivers there, very tense moments. And I have to say, it's always this way for me. I'm your commentator. I really am strictly neutral. Many of these races, my friends, but I'm strictly neutral. Yet I can feel the anxiety, a little bit of clammy hands, little bit dry back of my throat. Always excited at the start of the finals. Josh Price, he's on pole position and he's joined on the front row by Connor Hall, and those two are certainly leading the field in very, very slowly as we turn slowly right onto the start-finish straight. Here we go. And we're racing this time, and Josh Price gets a good start, followed by Lars Lamberel, Guan Yu Zhou in third place, and I'm afraid that Connor Hall was a little bit slowly away from the outside of the front row, and of course that gave a big disadvantage to Jack Bartholomew behind him and Senna Sakaguchi behind him. But Josh Price, Lars Lamberel and Guan Yu Zhou would be my read of the drivers as they have reached the top part of the circuit on the opening lap, coming down the grade. Well, already we've got some action, haven't we? Kart 27, Josh Price in the lead, 78 Lars Lamberel, 8 Guan Yu Zhou, 12 is Thomas Preining. Very clear blue and white livery, shall I use that word, for Ralph Aaron in the 5th place. Blue and white of Ralph Aaron. And Connor Hall's disappointing start. And we've had contact, and the leader's gone out in that contact. The leader has gone out in the contact. Lars Lamberel leads from Guan Yu Zhou, but Josh Price has gone out. Oh, that's a little disaster in the bigger scheme of things, and it's a major, major, major disaster for Josh Price and all his connections. Well, your commentator's not an official. I'm certainly not making a judgment call. Let me simply say there was contact prior to Josh Price losing the lead. Lars Lamberel leading, Guan Yu Zhou looking very menacing in 2nd place, Thomas Preining 3rd, and Connor Hall goes up into 2nd place from 4th. Kart number 22, Connor Hall goes from 4th to 2nd in one move. Well, with Connor Hall moving up past Guan Yu Zhou and Thomas Preining, that's given a little bit of breathing space to the driver at the front, which is Lars Lamberel. Once again, I can't emphasize enough, I am faithfully doing my best to call the race truthfully and accurately. I'm not an official in any way, but my common sense says that overtaking manoeuvre at the final turn of the opening lap may well come under scrutiny by officials, but for the time being, the very, very unlucky Josh Price is in 31st place, and I think going out of the race certainly is not going to win it from there. Guan Yu Zhou in a comfortable lead. Kart number 22, Connor Hall second. Thomas Preining in third place. He loses third place. That's a good move by Ralph Aron. Ralph Aron, and a little bit of hand waving, so not sure if that was sorry. No, don't think it was. Thomas Preining goes back into third place. So a little bit of coming and going between Ralph Aron in kart 14 and Thomas Preining in kart 12. All of that takes the bit of pressure off the two guys in front of them, which is Guan Yu Zhou in kart number 8 and Connor Hall in kart number 22. Thomas Preining running third, Ralph Aron running fourth, and that looks like Dennis Tice in 5th place. Yes, it is, and Dennis Tice is just in front of another Dutchman, Rinus van Kalmthout. Lars Lamberel really having got himself in the front and with a margin at the end of the opening lap, already fallen away significantly to 7th place. That's a disappointment. Kart number 44, Jack McCarthy running 8th, Jay Nijar running 9th, and Berkay Besler is 10th. Senna Sakaguchi, who's been very, very fast in the preliminaries here, but struggled a little bit at the start of the races, running 11th. The American Darren Keane is 12th. Good drive by him. Tristan Charpentier started 17th up to 13th. Well, for the girls, Elena Shehan is running 18th, and as I speak she drops a place to 19th, and in 20th place it's Vetska Vischer. So 19th on track is kart 36, Elena Shehan. 20th on track is kart 23, Vetska Vischer, younger sister of course of Beitske, who is racing Formula 3 this year. So the girls having their own little battle at the bottom end of the top 20. Well, Josh Price does continue to race in kart 27, and I'm going to make for what it's worth nothing except that I'm going to say it, a commentator's commendation. Josh Price, who was leading the race, having started on pole position and finding himself off the tarmac with just one turn to go at the end of the opening lap, restarted way, way, way behind everybody else, but he's keeping going. He's in 31st place. Is half a minute behind the leaders, but he's keeping going. It's the sporting way of doing things. Guan Yu Zhou sets off on lap 6 with a lead of 0.18 of a second on Connor Hall, but Connor Hall now getting a lot closer. Thomas Preining still holding that third place from Ralph Aron. Dennis Tice running 5th. Rinus van Kalmthout 6. Lars Lamberel 7. But we've got to keep our eye on these front-running strawberry racers, haven't we? Connor Hall is in kart number 22. Guan Yu Zhou, looking over his left shoulder, is in kart number 8. They go round the hairpin, not really at full racing pace, a little bit cautiously. Thomas Preining getting a fraction closer in third, although there is 5 kart lengths between them. There are 5. And there goes the move by Connor Hall to take the lead. And Connor Hall, late on lap 6, moves himself in front of Guan Yu Zhou to take the lead. So Connor Hall stepping to the front of the class as we set off on lap 7. Connor Hall now leaves Guan Yu Zhou up the hill. Thomas Preining a lot closer in third place, and Ralph Aron a lot closer in 4th. Little bit of a gap to Dennis Tice 5th, Lars Lamberel 6th, and Rinus van Kalmthout. All of those 3 guys are Dutchmen. And then a little bit of a gap, quite a significant gap, to 8th place Jay Nijar, 9th Berkay Besler, and 10th Japanese driver Senna Sakaguchi. Connor Hall on lap 7 has put a little bit of a cushion between himself and Guan Yu Zhou. Thomas Preining in 3rd place, getting a little bit closer to the Shanghai driver. Oh, and Thomas Preining looking for an opening there. Didn't work, and as a result Ralph Aaron is a lot closer to him in that striking light blue and white livery of kart number 14, which is the Tony kart of the Aches Racing team. Up the hill for the 8th time, Connor Hall, hotly pursued by Guan Yu Zhou, and I have to say it's now looking as if Guan Yu Zhou has closed that gap completely that Connor Hall had just opened up. Thomas Preining has gone with him, so it's a front-running 3 now. Thomas Preining, who had the very close attentions of Ralph Aaron moments ago, is now about 10 kart lengths in front of Ralph Aaron. So these podium places at this stage, just moving into the second half of the race, because this is lap 8 of a 14-lap race. Well, it's a clear signal that this will change, but I'm going to call the race at the half distance. Connor Hall led at the half race distance. Guan Yu Zhou 2nd, Thomas Preining 3rd, Ralph Aaron 4th, Dennis Tice 5th, Lars Lamberell 6th, Rinus van Kamtu 7, Jay Nijar 8, Berkay Besler 9, and Senna Sakaguchi completed the top 10. Now on that lap, Jay Nijar has moved up into 7th place, and Lars Lamberell has moved up into 5th place. So your top 7 now: Connor Hall, Guan Yu Zhou, Thomas Preining, Ralph Aaron, Lars Lamberell now 5th, Dennis Tice 6th, Jay Nijar 7th. Just looking into the lower part of the top 20, Jack Bartholomew gained a place on lap 8, moved himself up to 17th. Out of the top 20, William Tailforth moved up to 25th, but they were the only other moves besides those of Lars Lamberell and Jay Nijar. The front 3, starting off down the lower back straight for the 9th time, are led by Connor Hall, with Guan Yu Zhou in 2nd place and Thomas Preining in 3rd place. They set off on lap 10 in that order. The margin in favour of Connor Hall is 0.18 of a second. I would have thought that Thomas Preining is a little bit closer to Guan Yu Zhou, 3rd and 2nd, rather than Zhou in proximity to Connor Hall. Well, Connor Hall exited that final turn up to the top of the hill far better than Guan Yu Zhou, and as a result of that he's put a couple of extra kart lengths in his favour. So Connor Hall continues to lead, but that margin of 0.18 of a second now looks to have been increased. Front running 3 are well clear of Dennis Tice in 4th place. In turn, Dennis Tice is clear of Jay Nijar, although Jay Nijar has moved up to 5th place. The loser down there, just trying to work out who that was. It was Ralph Aaron, who's dropped down to 12th. Ralph Aaron having dropped to 12th. Jay Nijar up to 5th. Dennis Tice to 4th. Thomas Preining running 3rd. Guan Yu Zhou in 2nd place, trailing our race leader, Connor Hall. Race leaders coming round to start another lap. Coming round to start the climb to the top of the hill. Just dropping into the upper serpentine, turning right for the final time on the climb, and Connor Hall sweeps round the bend, the right-hander at the top of the hill, and comes down in a 3 kart length lead. Well, Thomas Preining looking to go through on Guan Yu Zhou. Well, that looked a hesitant move by Thomas Preining, but the gap was there, and the Austrian has gone through the gap, and he puts himself in 2nd place at the expense of Guan Yu Zhou, and Connor Hall, if he needed it, got an even greater cushion. He'd increased that lead of 0.18 of a second to 0.25 of a second. It's going to be a little bit more now. It was 0.252 of a second. It's now 0.456 of a second. as Connor Hall sets off up the hill for the 12th time. 12th time in a 14-lap final. Thomas Preining didn't have a good early preliminaries this week. He really, I felt he'd gone back a little bit from what I felt he's capable of, but it's come good today, and he's certainly driving well in the final. He's got a lot to do to win it from here, and he's got a lot to do to keep Guan Yu Zhou behind him. But the front running through, and Thomas Preining giving Guan Yu Zhou a little message, and I don't think it was Happy Easter or Happy Rotax Winter Cup. Jill's thinking that they're suggesting that they work together to reel in Connor Hall. Maybe that was the idea. Well, it's all very late because this is the end of lap 12 and there's only 2 laps to go, and that lead of 0.45 of a second is now a lead of 0.7 of a second. I say it to you so many times, those of you that listen regularly. I really don't want to say anything that might be construed as the commentator's curse. But with 1 3/4 laps to go, Connor Hall with a lead of 0.7 of a second and about 8 kart lengths looks, shall we say, very handily placed. You would think that the other 2 podium placers are settled, if not necessarily the order. And Thomas Preining looks round at Guan Yu Zhou. Guan makes a gesture and they're still looking at each other, but I don't think there's going to be any chance of them working to reel in Connor Hall from here. Connor Hall pulls away. I would say he's increased his lead by another couple of lengths. And again, a little bit of finger wagging, a little bit of arm waving. All part of karting, you understand. It's just one of those endearing features. Okay, last lap, 1 to go. And Thomas Preining looking all over the shop. I think Thomas Preining and Guan Yu Zhou have determined this is just a private battle for 2nd and 3rd. Guys, don't do anything silly that takes you both off the podium. Looks as if it's Connor Hall's in the bag now, climbing for the 14th and final time to the top of the hill, turning right, sweeping down the right-hander at the steepest part of the circuit, into the toe at the bottom, onto the return home straight. Looking good for Connor Hall. Thomas Preining again looking at Guan Yu Zhou. No attempt to try to chase the leader, but every attempt to stop Guan Yu Zhou going through to 2nd, but the Shanghai driver has found a way past, and what's more, Dennis Tice is putting pressure on Thomas Preining now. So let's concentrate with the winner, because he's well clear of the field, coming home to win the Junior Winter Cup. Number 1, it's Connor Hall. Connor Hall comes home to win. Guan Yu Zhou in 2nd place, Thomas Preining in 3rd place, Dennis Tice 4th, a good drive from Jay Nijar up to 5th, Senna Sakaguchi 6th, Lars Lamborel 7, Berkay Besler 8, Ralph Aron 9, and it was a good drive into the top 10 by kart number 44, Jack McCarthy, the RL Racing Department driver. Just outside the top 20, it was David Wooder 11th. Our drivers from outside of Europe, Darren Keane from the United States was 14th. Best of the non-Europeans, Senna Sakaguchi, the Asian, was 6th. For the girls, Elina Shahan was 18th. Vitska Vischer was 21st. So, the bragging rights, if you will, for the girls from Netherlands. Elina Shahan, 18th, but a good drive nevertheless by Vitska Vischer, both of them making the debut at this level. Okay, when the karts clear the circuit, we'll give you a call over again of the official screen.